Welcome back to The Explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled you're here today because we are tackling something that literally affects every single one of us, whether we realize it or not. We live in a world completely obsessed with data. We track our steps, our calories, the hours we work, our followers, project milestones, you name it. But what if I told you that this modern obsession with tracking data might actually be sabotaging our true goals? Today, we're diving into a really brilliant concept from Roya Bloom's productivity series. It's called Wilson's Law, and honestly, reading about it completely changed how I look at my own habits. We're going to explore exactly why what you measure inevitably shapes what you become.
You know that famous business saying, what gets measured gets managed? It sounds super logical, right? Highly efficient on paper. But we really need to challenge this assumption. Is measuring always a good thing? The source material actually suggests that tracking our behavior can sometimes change it for the worse. When we get total tunnel vision on the numbers, we can completely blind ourselves to what we originally set out to achieve.
Section 1. The Metrics Trap. Okay, let's dive into this. Wilson's Law states, we tend to prioritize what we can measure over what truly matters. I want you to really let that sink in for a second. Because certain things are just so easy to count, like KPIs at work, grades in school, or the number of likes on a social post, they slowly but surely become a really dangerous proxy for actual value. We completely stop chasing our ultimate goal and we just start chasing the metric. The things we choose to track literally start to define our behavior.
Section 2. The collateral damage. So what does this look like out in the real world? The source material gives us some specific casualties of this mindset, and it's pretty eye-opening. First up, marketing. A team might optimize heavily for follower counts, only to realize way later that they're basically just engaging with internet bots and completely losing their actual core audience. Second, students. We've all been there, chasing perfect test scores and memorizing facts for a week, but totally sacrificing deep, long-term understanding of the subject. And third, product managers. They might obsess over shipping speeds just to hit a quarterly target while completely ignoring whether the users actually even like the product. It becomes so clear how easily we lose sight of the big picture when we overfocus on what's easily counted.
And this creates a really stark dichotomy in the modern workplace. On one hand, we have measurable outcomes, the things that usually get you promotions, bigger budgets, and praise. Leaders love optimizing for these because, hey, they're super easy to put on a spreadsheet. But look at the other side, unmeasurable value. We're talking about creative thinking, team morale, resilience, mentorship. By optimizing exclusively for those short-term metrics, organizations are absolutely sacrificing those long-term success factors.
If you are a professional trying to navigate your career, Roya Bloom's article has this brilliant quote, and I want you to ask yourself this direct question right now. Are my goals helping me grow or just keeping me busy? It is so incredibly easy to just fill an 8-hour workday with highly measurable tasks, checking off boxes and feeling super productive. But are you actually growing? It's a profound reflection that really forces us to reevaluate how we spend our time.
Section 3. Impact on learning.
The academic world is honestly a perfect example of this trap. On one side, you have optimizing for grades, focusing strictly on test scores and hitting deadlines. And let's be real, it is superficially way easier to just cram for a test and memorize facts for a few days. But on the other side is true learning. That involves actually connecting ideas, applying knowledge, and retaining concepts long-term. This is the unmeasured yet profoundly crucial reality of true comprehension. And unfortunately, under traditional systems, this real learning often goes completely unrewarded simply because it can't be easily quantified.
So how do we actually combat this trap? We have to deliberately pair quantitative tracking with qualitative reflection. We can't just throw all the numbers out the window. That doesn't work either. But we have to balance those hard numbers with thoughtful reflection. Instead of just looking at the test score or the checked off task, we need to pause and ask ourselves, okay, but what did I truly learn today?
Section 4. The Balancing Act.
This source article outlines this brilliantly simple 3-step action plan to get a healthy balance back into your daily productivity. Step 1. Define 1 to 2 metrics you track. Because, again, Wilson's Law doesn't mean you shouldn't track your progress at all. Step 2. List 1 to 2 meaningful outcomes that you can't easily measure. And Step 3. Simply make time for both. It's all about bringing intention back into your routine. And sticking to just 1 or 2 items ensures you don't overcomplicate the whole thing.
And this breakdown brilliantly illustrates exactly how to do it. For example, if your quantitative action is to track your hours worked, well, your qualitative reflection needs to be on your creative flow during those hours. If you count the number of your workouts, you also need to check in with how your energy levels actually feel.
If you log meetings as a metric of productivity, you absolutely must assess if those meetings led to real collaboration. This is exactly how you bridge the gap between what is easily measurable and what is actually valuable.
So, to summarize the main takeaway from today's explainer, measuring progress is absolutely useful, but not if it completely distracts from your real purpose. Numbers, analytics, scores, they're merely tools. It's kind of like they are the dashboard of your car, not the destination itself, and you really shouldn't let them blindly steer the whole ship. Just because something can be measured doesn't automatically mean it matters most.
I really hope you found this deep dive into Roya Bloom's article on Wilson's Law as fascinating as I did. It really does change the way you look at your to-do list, and hey, there is way more to come. Next up in our exploration of this productivity series, we're going to unpack another hidden force, Gilbert's Law, the challenge of predicting time and complexity. You definitely won't want to miss how that little principle secretly influences your focus and everyday decisions.
But before we completely wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. I challenge you to step back and evaluate your own habits before you log into your next task today. Just ask yourself honestly, am I measuring what truly matters or just what's easy to count? Take a moment to really reflect on that. Thank you so much for hanging out and learning with me today, and I will see you in the next explainer.